Algebra lesson number 1, linear equation in two variable. Now what is the meaning of linear equation in two variable? The general form of the equation is ax plus by plus c equal to 0, where x and y are known as variables and the degree of x is 1 and the degree of y is also 1. Then it is said to be a linear equation in two variables. Over here a, b and c are real numbers, means some, it is also known as coefficient, are real numbers where a should never be equal to 0 and b also should never be equal to 0. If it is equal to 0, if a is equal to 0, then it will become a linear equation in one variable. If y is equal to 0, then also it becomes linear equation in one variable. C can be 0. For example, 3x minus 4y plus 12 is equal to 0. What are the variables over here? Variables are x and y, and degree of both x and y is 1. And what are a is equal to 3, b is equal to minus 4 and c is equal to 12. So a is also not equal to 0, b is also not equal to 0. Such an equation is known as linear equation in two variables. Now see activity on page number 1. Some equations are given. You have to find out whether the equation is linear equation in two variables or not. Now in the first one, 4m plus 3n is equal to 12. Here there are two variables m and n. So m and n are the two variables. What is the degree of both m and n? Degree of both m and n is 1. So if the degree is 1 and two variables are there, then it is said to be linear equation in two variables. So yes, it is a linear equation. See the second one. In the second one, there are two variables x and y. But the degree of x is what? Degree of x is 2. So here the degree is 2, therefore it is not a linear equation in two variables. So if the degree is more than 1, then it cannot be a linear equation in two variables. See the third equation. There are two variables x and y. What is the degree of x? 1, and degree of y is also 1. Therefore, yes, it is a linear equation in two variables. Now see the fourth sum, 0x plus 6y minus 3 equal to 0. Here also there are two variables x and y. But the degree of coefficient of x is what? 0. Since the coefficient of x is 0, that is a is equal to 0. Therefore, it is not a linear equation in two variable. It will become linear equation in one variable because this will go away, only 6y will be left. Therefore, it will become linear equation in one variable and not two variable. See the fifth sum, 0.3x plus 0y minus 36 equal to 0. There are two variables x and y. But over here, b is equal to 0. b is equal to 0. Therefore, it is not a linear equation in two variable. It will become linear equation in one variable. See the sixth sum. 4 upon x plus 5 upon y is equal to 4. Here also there are two variables x and y. But the degree of x, when you bring this x on top, it will become 4x to the power of minus 1 plus 5y to the power of minus 1 is equal to 4. Since the degree is minus 1, therefore it is not a linear equation in two variable, but we can convert this into linear equation in two variables that we will be studying in exercise 1.4. So I'll explain that time how you can convert this equation into linear equation in two variable. See the last one, 4xy minus 5y minus 8 is equal to 0. Here also there are two variables x and y. But the degree of this is what? The degree of this is, both is 1 and 1. So when you add both of them, you get what? 2. So degree over here is 2. Therefore, it is not a linear equation in two variables. Now, when two linear equations in two variables are taken at the same time, then they are called as simultaneous equation. Simultaneous equation. For example, 3x plus 4y is equal to 8 and 2x plus 4y is equal to 9. So such an equation, when two equations are taken at the same time having two variables, then it is said to be simultaneous equation. You can solve this simultaneous equation and find out the values of x and y by two methods. First method is known as elimination method. And the second method is known as substitution method. So by two methods you can solve the simultaneous equation and find out the value of x and y by elimination and substitution method. Both the methods is necessary that you should know it, because if activity is given, by which method they will give the activity we don't know. So we have to know both the methods.